Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a local volunteer fire department is seeking more funds for equipment, how much they're asking for, and the potential benefits. Plus, it's the year's first heat-related death. Find out where as officials give heat safety reminders. And a local public defender waits for trial date as appellate courts consider a related matter.
Big difference from yesterday. We got clouds and shower activity around the crossroads. There you see the big line that's coming down from the Wharton area. So there is the Victoria, as you see right there. So we're looking for increasing showers tonight, tomorrow, and less on Sunday. We'll have all that forecast coming up.
And the Victoria Generals play their final home regular season game versus Seguin River Monsters. We'll give you a full preview of tonight and their season so far later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Now, good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Trenton Whiting in for Dawn and Shauna. The pretrial date for a local public defender has yet to be set. Brian Watson, Chief Public Defender for the Crossroads area, was arrested Thursday, April 4, 2024 on charges of misuse of official information. His salary, $160,000 a year. The Oversight Board of the Crossroads Regional Public Defender's Office unanimously voted for Watson to begin his role as Chief Public Defender on May 6, 2024. Despite the indictment, Watson's attorney Brian Garris confirmed Thursday that Watson's case has not been given a pretrial date because they have raised a pretrial matter, quote, that is of concern to all Texans, and it's currently in the Texas 13th District Court of Appeals. And that'll lead us to our viewer poll for this evening. We ask you, can a defendant get due process if their public defender is also indicted? 17% of our voters saying yes, 83% of our voters saying no. And obviously, this is a big conversation. We'll obviously need to see more information come out as time goes along. But for right now, we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. We'll have the latest results at 10. A West Hoff Volunteer Fire Department is looking to upgrade their equipment to better serve the area. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with the fire chief. Ray, what kind of conversation did you two have?
Yes, Trenton, West Hoff Volunteer Fire Department is looking for an increase of $140,000 from DeWitt County. West Hoff Volunteer Fire Chief Andrew Weekles says the increase would give him the opportunity to have better radios and a better response time for the residents. The Volunteer Fire Department raises money by either donations or fundraisers. Weekles says if he had better radios, he'll be able to communicate with any of the surrounding counties.
Having less stress allows us to respond better and faster, and it takes the burden off of supporting our communities.
Weekles also says that increase would be used for maintenance and insurance for the trucks they already have. We reached out to the DeWitt County judge and we're waiting to hear back. Trenton.
Thank you, Ray. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has proposed slashing nearly $1 billion in grant funding. The proposed cuts still require approval from the White House Budget Office and Congress. Internal memos and two FEMA officials familiar with the plans give more detail to the effect if the proposed cuts happen. They say funding for more than half of FEMA's emergency management and Homeland Security grant programs would be zeroed out. It's funding that goes to communities and first responders nationwide to better prepare for disasters and to bolster security for possible terror or cyber attacks. The memos, signed by FEMA's acting administrator and approved by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, acknowledge the potential risks of eliminating these programs. Now, the first heat-related death of the 2025 season has been confirmed in Texas. The Dallas County Health and Human Services Department says a man in his 60s with unknown pre-existing medical conditions died. Officials urge residents to prioritize heat safety and protect themselves as high temperatures continue in North Texas. And as they say, they should definitely keep track of your health safety, your internal body temperature. But let's go to Maclovio Perez with a first look at the forecast since it is getting much hotter this week.
Well, obviously yesterday was brutal. We had a high of 99 today with the cloud cover and the rain that's rolling in. We're only at 86 degrees. We're taking a look at Victoria right about there. And of course, there's Highway 59. Big storms just rolled out of the Wharton area. They're probably right over Edna right now, and this activity will be dropping southward into Victoria. So if you're anywhere from Cuero to Victoria all the way down to Port Lavaca, you're going to be seeing additional showers roll in the next hour. And then the storms will decrease tonight once the sun goes down, but then they'll repop again tomorrow and again on Sunday. But we should be decreasing by then. We'll have a lot more details on your forecast, but it looks like it's a little on the stormy side for the next 2 days. We'll have all that coming up in just a moment.
Thank you, Mac. 2 senior NOAA officials tied to the Trump Sharpiegate controversy have been placed on leave, according to former and current sources. Steve Voelz and Jeff Dillon led an investigation into whether then acting NOAA Administrator Neil Jacobs violated the agency's scientific integrity policy by supporting President Trump's altered Hurricane Dorian forecast. In 2019, Trump drew a storm path with a Sharpie, predicting the hurricane would hit Alabama, which it did not. The reason for Voelz and Dillon's leave are unclear, but a letter to Voelz cited an investigation into, quote, recent conduct. Jacobs awaits a Senate vote for NOAA administrator on July 30th. As the Texas legislature's special session ends its first week, members of the Texas House Democratic Caucus left Texas this morning. 15 Texas Democrats left for California and Illinois. They plan to meet with governors and state leaders. The move signals a new phase in the fight against Governor Greg Abbott's agenda as Democrats continue to refuse to legitimize a special session they say is full of, quote, partisan distractions when it should be focused exclusively on flooding and disaster relief. Democrats particularly are against any plans for redistricting. The Department of Justice is suing New York City Mayor Eric Adams and other city officials over its sanctuary city laws. The complaint filed in Brooklyn federal court alleges that the city's sanctuary policies interfere with the enforcement of federal immigration law. In a post on social media, Bondi said, if New York's leaders won't step up to protect their citizens, we will. In the past 3 months, the department has filed similar lawsuits against Los Angeles, New York State, Colorado, Illinois, the city of Rochester, and several New Jersey cities over sanctuary policies. The Trump administration has claimed such laws interfere with federal immigration officers' ability to do their jobs and obstruct information sharing policies. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, Ghislaine Maxwell questioned for a second straight day what she told investigators and why President Trump was asked about clemency. Plus, a rare confrontation at the Fed, why President Trump challenged the Fed chair and what he wants now. Welcome back. President Trump today leaving open the possibility of granting clemency to Ghislaine Maxwell. For a second day, Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator questioned by the Department of Justice. Today's meeting lasting 3 hours. ABC's Param Russum is in Washington with more.
President Trump today asked about the possibility of granting clemency to Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell as she's questioned for a second day by the Department of Justice.
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
The Wall Street Journal reports Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May he is mentioned in the Epstein files multiple times, along with other high-profile people. Trump trying to distance himself from the case today.
Give you a list. Who's guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell did.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today questioning Maxwell for 3 hours after a 6-hour meeting yesterday. Sources tell ABC News Maxwell initiated the meeting as she appeals her conviction to get out of her 20-year prison sentence.
We haven't asked for anything. This is not a situation where we're asking anything in return for testimony or anything like that.
Maxwell was convicted for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. She was also charged with perjury, but never tried in court for that. Annie Farmer says she was abused by Epstein when she was 16 years old. She testified against Maxwell.
I think that to be told that suddenly she's being brought to the table as a potential source of information when she's previously been charged with perjury by the government is very confusing and unsettling.
Maxwell's attorney says she was asked about 100 different people. Still not clear how much of the conversations today and yesterday will be made public. Todd Blanche only saying he will share what he learned at the appropriate time. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Disgraced former Congressman George Santos reported to prison today to begin serving his 7-year sentence. The Federal Bureau of Prisons issued a statement today confirming that Santos was in custody at the Federal Correctional Institute, Fairton in Fairton, New Jersey. The New York Republican was sentenced to 7 years in prison after pleading guilty to federal wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. He deceived donors and stole people's identities to fund his congressional campaign and lifestyle. The former lawmaker told Tucker Carlson during an interview that he viewed his imprisonment as practically a death sentence. A two-way trade between the U.S. and Mexico totaled $840 billion last year, making Mexico America's largest trading partner. A vast majority of trade between the two countries has been exempt from tariffs for months. That could change Monday. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit crossroadstoday.com. Now to President Trump's tour of the Federal Reserve, pressing Fed Chair Jerome Powell on the cost of renovating the bank's headquarters and repeating his call for the central bank to lower interest rates. ABC's Mary Bruce has the story.
President Trump making a rare visit to the Federal Reserve as he ups the pressure on Chairman Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. For weeks, he's relentlessly attacked Powell, who Trump himself appointed. Now, a new tactic, calling into question the Fed's multi-billion-dollar renovations, which are hundreds of millions of dollars over budget. The president, with the cameras rolling, surprising Powell with a new higher price tag for the project. Powell pushing back, saying Trump is including the cost of construction that was completed 5 years ago.
It looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2. This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added our entire capital. Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
So we're going to take a look.
Trump then asked,
as a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
But so far, Trump, who nominated Powell in 2017, has stopped short of that. His term is up in May. Asked what Powell could do to get him to back off his attacks.
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you?
Now let's take a look behind the menu at local food establishment inspection reports. Inspectors found issues at 2 Victoria eateries. Gogi Korean Barbecue and Sushi had 31 demerits, and La Hacienda had 24 demerits. 7 eateries in Victoria received a perfect score. Those include Dairy Treat, Don Lupe-licious Tacos, Dos Hermanos Cantina, Knights of Columbus Hall, Lucky's Kitchen and More, Rocco's Snow and Snacks, and Tacos 2 Compadres. Now don't miss episode 14 of Let's Grow Texas Ag. Catch it on KXTS tonight at 10 o'clock.
Well, good evening, everybody. We have lots of cloud cover, and we've got some storms upstream. They're moving out into our area, looking for thunderstorms tonight And again, tomorrow afternoon, we'll talk more about them coming up in a moment. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 84 degrees. Not bad considering we were at 99 yesterday. Our high today, probably only 86, 10 below our average. How much rain can we get? That's going to be hard because it's going to be very spotty. We'll have all of that coming up in a moment.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from Our Lady of Sorrows, we hear from a competitive shooter, and we hear from our friends at Victoria College.
We are doing a back-to-school resource fair where we'll have about 350 backpacks to give away.
Wow.
Now these are geared more towards middle school and high school kids, but we will have so much more other fun things for the littles.
Good evening, everyone. Big changes from yesterday as all that tropical moisture that was out in the Gulf of Mexico rolled right on in. Now, this could have developed into a tropical depression. However, it was so close to land that it really didn't get much chance. And of course, we still had some of that dust in the air. But today it all moved ashore and you saw the cloud deck get thicker and thicker. We've had spotty rain showers. Some of you got nothing. Some of you got a lot just today, but the reason why it's coming ashore is because the big dome that was on top of us, well, it's moved to the northeast. They're getting the heat wave and it's allowing all of that tropical moisture to stream ashore. So let's take a close-up look. Here is Victoria, here's 59. We've got the heavier activity just to the north of the city right about now. Now you can see Edna. You can see a big cluster of storms just to the north of that. So if you're to the northwest of the city and there's Cuero and probably on up to the Hallettsville area, we're getting some stormy weather. So it's going to be raining in the city this evening and it'll decrease probably after 7 or 8, certainly by 9 o'clock this will settle down. Tomorrow we're going to get a break in the morning and this is Future Tracker. You can see how we've got 6 p.m. there. We'll go forward. You get 9 o'clock tonight, you can see we still have some stormy weather, but we go to midnight and you can see how most of the showers end. Then we start off on Saturday morning and then we'll start popping your showers during the morning hours, and in the afternoon we should get a couple of heavier thunder showers rolling around the area. So rainfall will be very spotty, but some of you will get some heavier amounts. As we get into Sunday, you'll see a lot more sun. It'll get hotter, but you'll also see a few leftover pop-up showers as well. This is the rainfall as we expected over the next 12 hours. And you can see, depending on where you're standing. So very little here, a lot over here, very little there, a lot. Actually, it'll be heavier down along the immediate coastline. So if you happen to be going down into the Port Lavaca area, just look out for that. So I know it's your weekend, but at least this is helping knock the temperatures down just a little bit. We'll look out into the Atlantic and you can see we have one little system here that looked like it was going to get going, but it's running into the dust, so it's not having much luck. But out here, the computer models are beginning to put a circulation together. This is about 5 to 7 days away. We're not going to have to worry about real quick, but because 2 and 3 models have now agreed to this, we're going to be watching this system to see if it actually evolves into something that we'll have to watch at. But we've got about 5 to 7 days from that. So because of the cloud deck tomorrow and the showers, our heat index won't be as hot. And as we look at our day planner for Port Lavaca, you're looking for mostly cloudy skies, high of only 88 degrees, and then of course the afternoon showers. Some of you will get the heavy rain. Some of you will probably miss the whole thing. So we're looking for a high of 86 in Cuero, and that's nice considering, you know, we were at 99 yesterday. So your extended outlook, we've had an alert day for tomorrow. That's because some areas will get some heavy downpours. Others will miss it. So it's all depending on where you're standing. Fewer showers expected on Sunday, and then Monday we start getting back to the hot and steamy weather, and we'll be up into the upper 90s by the time we get to next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Trenton.
All right.
Okay, going over to be here. So we look over, we have a top tier swim club that's happening here in Victoria, which will make splashes out going into the pool. Find out more about this club coming up in sports. Now, yesterday we highlighted our athlete of the week there to swimmer Bella Callis from the Victoria Aquatic Center. Well, today we're heading back to the Aquatic Center in town, highlighting another top swim club in Victoria called Victoria Wahoos. Yes, they're coached under head coach there, Debbie Meese, and this club competed at the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation Region 16 championships there last week and had a great representation from the team to the swimmers, and Willow Balla and Alyssa Herring placed really well in multiple freestyle and breaststroke events. And earlier today, I asked them both about two separate questions about what they've learned from being at this club and which events are their favorite.
Because you definitely have to keep up the pace with things and, you know, keep up with your times overall, and also the relationships with people.
I just like doing it really quickly because whenever you do more breaths, it makes me kind of go a bit faster.
Now, the both of them will compete there in the state championships for the Wahoo swim team there next week. Will be out there in the College Station Bryan area. It's going to start there on July 31st. They'll have also 34 other swimmers that compete there out there in the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation Summer Games of Texas. So tune in tomorrow. Our very own there, Trent Whiting, will highlight some of the other swimmers and also one of the coaches too for the 25 News Now Sports at 6 and then at 10 p.m. Now, from one Victoria team to another with Victoria Generals, as they did not play last night there were Seguin River Monsters on the road due to unforeseen circumstances, but they are back in action tonight for their final home regular season game there, as they're currently 30-12 overall, and they're holding the second overall seed going into the playoffs there starting next Tuesday nights. And so they got big production this past season there from Diego Diaz and Cole Tabor, who were there in the top 5 of the league there in batting average, with Diaz at a .341 and Tabor at a .313. Then former pitcher there as well, Drew Winsky, has an ERA of 1.29 right now, is ready for the postseason. We'll see if the Generals can beat the River Monsters there tonight for their regular season home game this season. And again, over to Baton Rouge now. How about the football season right now, starting to get ready for two-a-days, and again, first scrimmages starting all over there, the Crossroads teams. And guess what? Our first team we're going to mention right now, or the early previews to start with, is the Shiner Comanches. And Shiner last season, after losing their first 3 games to Hallettsville, then Rice Consolidated and Poth, went on to dominate there the past district overall to reach the 2A Division II state championship before losing to the Munster Hornets. So the Comanches heading in will be losing star quarterback Carson Schutte, who will be on the lookout there. But one athlete to watch this season is Jarvis Williams, who is named the Newcomer of the Year award there from Victoria Advocate. And finally, the Houston Astros looking to get their payback tonight there versus the Oakland A's. It'll be there at 7:10 p.m. in Dakin Park. On the mound for the Astros of Ryan Gusto, who gets 6-3 overall and has a 4.46 ERA. And that's going to do it here in sports. Trent, back to you.
Thank you, Max. So we're back in a moment, but first we'll recognize a local dance team that got a national spotlight this week. A group of young dancers from Victoria just wrapped up a magical performance at the happiest place on earth. 23 company dancers from Ledwig Dance Academy performed 7 high-energy routines this afternoon in Orlando. After months of rehearsing, they performed those routines in front of a live audience. The dancers also took part in a private workshop led by a Disney dance professional. For some, it marked their first time performing at Disney. For others, it was a return to the stage they first experienced 2 years ago. A big congratulations to these young dancers for representing Victoria with style and spirit. Now, good for them.
Yeah, I love that. You know, you showcase that, and again, 'cause, I mean, we've talked about a lot of dance crews with us in sports, but like you get that too as well. There's a lot of things you never know.
And the memories.
Absolutely, especially being down at Disney
for a
and
lifetime.
Orlando.
Yeah, good stuff.
For surely, for surely.
Well, folks, when we get more shower activity rolling in tonight, it'll settle down overnight. Tomorrow will start off okay, but look for afternoon showers to pop on Saturday. That's why we have that alert for tomorrow. Fewer showers expected on Sunday, and then next week, well, we're back to the hot and steamy stuff.
Oh my goodness! Well, it's going to be a little hot, and so you know, going to have to try to find a
pool. With the rain, though, you know, it's like I said, it'll cool us off, right, Mac, and everything else.
With the temperatures at 86 is a whole lot better than 99.
Yeah,
don't you think? I mean,
for sure.
I would agree with that. It's still going to be hot though, especially there at the end of the week, like you were saying.
Yeah, next week we're back to the grind, but then it is July. However, the rain tomorrow will be very spotty. Some people will get heavy rain, some people will miss it completely. So consider yourself lucky if you get it.
Be prepared.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll join us tonight for 25 News Now at 10.